Well, good afternoon to everybody out there in YouTube land. This is Mike from What Works For Me Aquariums, and I'm going to report on a couple of things that work for me and a couple of things sadly that do not. So this is my first video in a couple of months. We waited, of course, until the season was over, the vacation season, school season, so forth and so on. All that's done. We're back on track just like we always were, and I've got some issues. So I'm going to talk to you about them. First, let's take a look. There has been some additions to the aquarium since last time I posted. Okay, up in the right hand corner there's some pipe organ. It's very pretty when it's displaying itself. Off to the left you'll see a piece of, right here, a piece of Acropora that's actually blue or purple, which is kind of neat. I've never seen one that color. When I saw it I had to have it. If you're ever in the Oklahoma City area, look up World Class Prestige Corals or something like that. They're actually in Bethany, Oklahoma, which is far south, northwestern portion of Oklahoma City. This guy has his own coral farm and everything. It's really neat and very knowledgeable. Drop by and see him, and his coral prices are really good. Frags usually run about $20, the size of the Acropora here, and I was real pleased with his collection. He's got lots of cool stuff. So stop by and see if you get a chance. A little plug there for that fella. Nice place. Now, there's a lot of good places in Oklahoma City, by the way. So anyway, don't take my word for it. Drop by and take a look. So the Acropora, the pipe organ. Let's see. Up here, it's a piece of green star pulp, which looks awful. My Agropora bird's nest looks awful. My hammer coral, it's looking awful. The pipe organ is not, that thing's usually full, okay? The only couple things I see, it looks like the Monopora is not doing too bad. I think I called that wrong. This is Monopora, not Agropora. If I said Agropora, I'm sorry. And the orange is also Monopora. And again, they look like they're holding their own. They don't look worse for the wear, but they don't look great. The green star polyp, I guess you can't stop that stuff. I'm told if you put that in a blender, grind it up, put it back in the aquarium, it'll just grow back again. I believe that. Not to mention the fact that a little piece of Duncan is to the left of the green star polyp seems doing fine. Now the green star polyp that I put up here was a recent addition. I happened to see it at Petco. It was $20, $25, and it was full of polyps. I said, if it's doing okay in their tank, it'll do great in mine. Put it in here 2 weeks ago. Not a polyp seen. Now, it's not dead because it's still pliable, it's not falling apart. So there's some questions about what's going on, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. I'd like to show you a couple of things. If you ever need to clean all your aquarium pumps, look at this stuff right there. Pump Clean. It's a company called SICCE. All you do is follow the instructions, put your pump or whatever it is you want clean in a bucket of water it's a gallon, and there's so many ounces that go into that gallon. And I am not kidding you. Whatever's on that pump simply floats away. It's as if it's never there, and your pumps come out clean and pristine as if they were brand new. Fantastic product. Second product I want to mention, and I really think this is a cool one. Hang on, I dropped it. Okay, let's try again. So, this is an incredible algae scraper. Okay? This algae scraper is by a company called Flipper. Now, it's got some innovations over all other algae scrapers. Okay? Firstly, it is made of fiberglass, the whole handle. Okay? And the reason that's good is because it doesn't flex when you push it against the glass, and it wipes away all the gunk inside. And as you know, in a saltwater tank, coral and algae is not so easy to get off the glass. Okay, so this stuff it'll dig in, all right, but it won't hurt your glass. Now, second thing, the patented head on this thing. On one side, there's a little piece of sponge type material that's good for wiping away just plain old grungy algae, and then that side is great for scraping the coral and algae off your tank. So let me show you something. Okay. So this is a real cool little deal. You can actually buy replacement blades when they dull. Likewise, you can flip it around here, and it's got sort of a serrated edge. I'm not sure exactly what that's for. I haven't found that use yet. Now, if that's not enough for you, all you got to do when you want to replace the blade, if you don't want to go and buy another flipper blade, look at this. Okay? Slips right in there. You got to cut it down a little bit, and voila, you got a brand new blade from an old gift card. and it works like a charm, because I bet you've been using something like that before. So I'm pretty impressed with this little device. You need to go ahead and get one if you haven't got one before. And they make them in various sizes and various depths, but this is the nano version for obvious reasons. Okay, enough of the plugs. Let's talk about the tank. Like I said, there's been some additions. Things were looking well, and right now they don't look so good. So, of course, doing my due diligence, I checked my water parameters. The first thing I noticed is that the temperature was about 81 degrees. And I've sort of been running it that way for a while, and then, of course, you really realize the truth is, it's supposed to run between 76 and 78 degrees all the time. Okay, that's an optimum temperature for your reef tank. Now, my alkalinity, according to an API test, my alkalinity was about the same you'd find in a freshwater aquarium, not a saltwater, very low. Okay, according to my readings, my alkalinity, or KH, was 89.5. Now it should be in the hundreds, okay? So that was bad. pH runs about 8, okay, so not 8.3 like they recommend. Now here's the kicker, and this is the one that's killing me. I've got magnesium that is so high, I haven't got a test that will measure it. Okay, so it's well over 1,500. Now, there's been a debate, okay? I talked to some people, and they say 1,340 is where your magnesium rate should be, and that's what it says on the bag for Instant Ocean, okay, for reef crystals. I've talked to people. I said mine's about 1,500 or more, and they said, "Oh no, big deal. That's good. That's fine." Now, from what I understand, actual ocean water runs about 1,340. Okay, I believe that's right. So 1,500 or more is higher, and like I said, now I can't even read it, and I believe some of this is what's causing the coral to close up and not perform. Excuse me. So, what do you do with that? How do you lower magnesium? How do you boost everything else? Now, the calcium and all that stuff, that's fairly, not the calcium, the alkalinity and stuff, that's pretty easy to boost. There are plenty of products. I've got something here from Seachem called Reef Fusion 1 and 2, and I'm told that that's every 2 or 3 day dose, and you put it in the tank, and it's supposed to raise the alkalinity up to where it's supposed to be. Plus, it helps boost calcium, which in mine has always been low, but I haven't had stony coral in the tank very long. So I hadn't really paid attention to it, but now apparently it's an issue. Okay. Now, like I said, everything's all closed up. So I'm having to bet that the alkalinity's got a lot to do with it. The high magnesium's got a lot to do with it. So I'm not sure what to do. I'll tell you what I am going to do. The first thing come to my mind was that maybe the salt mix is not so good. So, and I don't want to keep adding anything that'll put more magnesium back in the tank, because I assume it'll just keep climbing and never go down. So I decided that what I'm going to do is probably look for a different salt brand. Sadly, they're all going to put magnesium back in the tank. Now, I was told, one of the stores up in Oklahoma City said that if you use whatever they're recommending, whatever kind of salt they're recommending, that it would, since it doesn't have that much in it, would drop it down. Now, something else I'm told, and I guess I don't know if I've mentioned this on this video or not, but one thing that was wrong was that, I was going to say something. One of the problems I was having with the tank was its location. And it's in a room. That's the only place I've got to put it, sadly. And I'd love to have a bigger reef, but I don't really have room for that either. And the problem is, it's in a room that was an additional or an add-on room to this house many, many moons ago. And when they put the ducting in, the air conditioning ducting, they didn't do it right. I had an air conditioner guy inspect it way before aquariums were in here, and he said, yeah, it's bent in various angles, so the airflow doesn't get in here like it ought to. So that's what keeps the temperature in this room so high. If you shut the air conditioner vent, you can't hardly stand it. It's like a sauna. And on top of that, the position of the back wall of the house, where I'm sitting, it's right where the sun beats down from noon till the sundown. Okay, so and right now we're experiencing exceptionally high temperatures in Oklahoma, up in the hundreds, 107, like that. So all in all, I've got a little issue with temperature, which I also understand has to do with tampers with the alkalinity and tampers with the pH. So I'm gonna work on all that. Okay. So like I was saying, I'm looking to find out if I can get some other kind of salt mix that isn't going to do what this one is doing. And I not necessarily Sure, the salt mix was the problem, but it would be a place to start. So that is what I'm going to do. I've looked up various brands, and on Monday, this is Thursday, on Monday, I'll be in Dallas, Oklahoma, Dallas, Fort Worth area, Texas, and they've got a couple of shops, and it'll blow you away. I am not kidding. One of them I can't remember the name of, that has this giant oak tree right in the middle of the store. It's not real, but it looks like it is. And they've got a pretty good selection, great equipment, great tanks. But the one I like to visit most is Dallas North Aquariums, who I'm going to call in a little while and talk with. I want to find out what they think about the predicament I'm in. One way or the other, something has to give, because I'm afraid my coral will fade and die, especially acropore, because it's so, it's going to be fragile anyhow. So anyway, I found it interesting that hammer coral is doing what it's doing. As you can see, that's usually twice that size, about the size of a golf ball normally. And so I'm going to do what I can to correct the problems. If you have any suggestions, if you have any input, maybe you've been doing this a lot longer than me and you say, oh, I've had that problem or I've seen that problem before, please leave it in the comments. Please be nice. I'm not going to answer. If I get a rude comment, I'm just going to have it removed, okay? And I'll block you. So don't bother to do that. Let's just have a nice discussion, and you tell me what I can do to straighten out the problems I'm encountering. I don't know what else to look at just yet. I fixed currently, and I said something a minute ago about the temperature problem. Now I've actually got that controlled. Currently in the tank it's about 75 degrees, or 77, 78 degrees. And what I did was, I've got a fan. Here, let me show you. There she is. Okay. And I had a fan before, a little desk fan, but it just wasn't enough. So I bought that fan this morning, put it on the tank, and then it dropped the tank temperature down real well. So I'm okay with that situation. Again, I'm going to try this refusion stuff to bring up the alkalinity and see what I can do with that, and then we'll go from there. I have not changed water lately. Oh, that was the other issue. Somebody mentioned to me that I was doing too big of water changes for the frequency. I change water in the tank once a week, pretty faithfully. Anywhere from 5 to 7 days, somewhere along in there. And I've been doing 50% water changes every time. There's about 7.5 gallons of water in this tank, so I've been doing about 3.25, 3.5 gallons change. Somebody told me that was just far too much, that it's basically shocking the tank. Now, for a year and a half, it didn't seem to bother it, but now all of a sudden, I'm having an issue. So I'm going to guess that what you're seeing is a slow build-up thing, and it's just now starting to manifest itself in such a fashion that the coral's starting to suffer. And I'm not going to let that occur if I can stop it in any way, shape, or form. So the next time I'm going to do about a gallon, and again, I'm going to see if I can't figure out some other salt solution. Hopefully, the combination of the salt solution, the less aggressive water changes, and the addition of this Fusion 1 and 2, all that put together ought to start bringing this tank back around to life, and I hope it does. I just came from a shop here in town. We've got a gun shop here in town, and the guy has a huge saltwater. I don't know how big it is. It's 200 gallons or more probably. And this thing is so full of coral. And he showed me that he got chalice coral, he's got zoanthids by the thousands. He's got hammer coral that's reproduced over and over again. He's got it all over the tank. It's pretty impressive. It's not the prettiest tank I've ever seen, but the coral is thriving. It's amazing to see. I wish I had a picture of it to show it to you. And we had a long talk, and he said it's been around for a long, long time. He remodeled his shop not too long ago, and he brought it from his house to the shop because he spends more time at the shop than he does at home. But at any rate, is this possible? Sure, you bet it is. Again, he has great volume in his tank, which has helped. But I'm not kidding you. The monopora he's got in his tank it looked like just stacks and stacks and stacks of monopora all over the place, and it was what he's got in that tank is just astounding. So anyway, that's the sad progress for my tank right now. You had not seen it for a while. When you last saw it, he was doing a lot better. So hopefully, I will be able to start correcting some of the problems. If you have a suggestion, again, please don't hesitate to drop me a little comment. I'll bet you there's plenty of folks out there that have some idea what's gone wrong or how to correct it. Now, first off, I want to say again a big hello to all those who subscribed. I've got a few new subscribers. Thank you so much. please hit the like button if you would. And if you want to, subscribe. And let's have a conversation about reef keeping, because it's just a passion of mine. I'm sure if you're watching this, it's a passion of yours. I've had a lot of fun talking with you. I will see you again shortly, hopefully with some progressive news, and we'll see what's going on. As of right now, that's all I've got. This is Mike from What Works For Me Aquariums, and thank you very much for watching.